that is the finding of an investigation of village finances and the spending habits of beleaguered Mayor Tiffany
Henyard Tiffany, the so-called super mayor of Dalton, Illinois, is back in the news, and this time it's bigger than ever. According to rumors, she's been caught trying to bribe a federal investigator. Yes, you read that correctly. The FBI is now after her, and things have taken a serious turn for the worse. Imagine being in such deep trouble that you think bribing a federal agent is your last resort. That's the position Henyard finds herself in right now, and her problems keep piling up. Over the years, her career has been filled with questionable moments, but this latest scandal could be the one that finally takes her down. Henyard is under investigation not only for embezzling taxpayer money, hosting lavish parties, and engaging in shady business deals, but she's also allegedly been caught red-handed attempting to bribe federal agents. Each new revelation paints a clearer picture of her downfall. Her empire is crumbling around her. Is there any way to stop it? Stay tuned, because Henyard's fall from grace is far from over, and more questions keep arising in the midst of this growing crisis.
Unfortunately, we knew it was going to be a little messy, but it's just something we felt important that had to be done.
It almost sounds unbelievable, but according to sources, the FBI is currently investigating all of Tiffany Henyard's transactions from the past year to determine whether she's been accepting kickbacks or simply pocketing taxpayer money. The list of charges against her continues to grow as rumors about her actions circulate. Henyard has been living large, spending recklessly, and consuming public funds as if there's no tomorrow. She's spent tens of thousands of dollars on private concerts with R&B artists, indulged in extravagant meals, flown first class, and even rented bounce houses for poorly attended town events, despite her town facing a multi-million-dollar deficit. The mayor's lavish lifestyle, funded by taxpayer money, has now caught up with her. The implications of her behavior could be severe as the FBI continues its investigation into her actions.
A one-day purchase of over $40,000 to Amazon. And the main thing is...
Can you believe that Tiffany Henyard, who was already drowning in debt, was willing to spend tens of thousands of dollars just for a few hours of entertainment? But it gets worse. She's also accused of using the town's credit cards as her own personal piggy bank, allegedly spending nearly $40,000 in a single day on a shopping spree. It's clear that Tiffany Henyard's troubles run much deeper than just reckless spending. The town's finances are in such disarray that former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot was brought in to investigate. Lightfoot's initial findings were shocking. Dalton's general budget, once healthy, had plummeted to a $4 million deficit under Henyard's leadership. And if that wasn't bad enough, the FBI is reportedly looking into several questionable financial practices, including possible kickbacks. There are also allegations that Henyard has been using taxpayer money to boost her own reputation through flashy advertisements and billboards featuring her face. One of the most outrageous examples of Henyard's actions has to be her infamous $85,000 party, which gave Thornton Township a taste of her extravagant spending. Despite high expectations, the event turned out to be a complete flop by all accounts.
Body, is it the reason why you guys are not paying whatever that vendor is?
What was it for?
It was for shirts. That's what
Henyard's extravagant spending reached new heights when she paid $330,000 for a 30-minute performance by Kiki Wyatt and another $20,000 for a brief set by Jay Holiday. On top of that, she blew $6,600 on homes that were barely used. Even her own social media posts, bragging about her super mayor persona, highlighted a poorly attended event. One resident even called it a waste of taxpayer money, while another described it as a Henyard show. To make matters worse, it's been reported that Henyard tried to bribe a federal agent involved in investigating her financial dealings. Can you imagine thinking that would work? Well, she did. And now she's facing serious legal trouble because of it. This isn't just a slap in the face. It's an attempt to play hero for a town that can't afford her antics. Bribing a federal agent is a serious crime, and if convicted, Henyard could face years behind bars. Experts believe that based on similar cases, she could serve anywhere from 5 to 10 years for the bribery alone. And that's not even factoring in the potential charges for financial mismanagement, corruption, and fraud. There have been plenty of high-profile cases where public officials have faced similar consequences, and things don't look promising for Henyard.
Not employed by us. So you have got just...
The ongoing investigations into Henyard's administration have only grown more intense as the scandal deepens. The FBI and other authorities are digging into her finances in an attempt to untangle the mess left behind by her leadership. This situation isn't just about reckless spending. There are serious allegations of theft, misappropriation of public funds, and high-level corruption. Henyard has also been accused of using her position to enrich herself, her family, and close friends. One notable claim involves her channeling public funds into her own nonprofit organization, which, rather than focusing on helping others, seems more concerned with boosting her personal image.
Fired her chief of police late last...
Wait until you hear about her personal security detail. If you thought her spending was bad, this takes it to a whole new level. Henyard demanded a police detail that ended up costing hundreds of thousands of dollars in overtime, with one officer making over $100,000. Dalton is a small town, yet Henyard used taxpayer money to hire a personal entourage, including the town's former police chief, who has since left the position. Even though the overtime pay alone exceeded officers' base salaries, the worst part is that the town is so financially strained, it can barely afford basic services. Meanwhile, Henyard was using these funds for lavish trips, all paid for by the residents of Dalton. It's also been reported that the police department became overworked, as officers were pulled away from routine patrols just to protect Henyard. It's no surprise that the locals are furious. They've been protesting, demanding answers, and calling for Henyard's resignation. According to one former trustee, Henyard's home was even targeted after she spoke out against the mayor, an accusation that only adds fuel to the fire of this scandal-ridden administration. Henyard, however, refuses to back down. Despite the ongoing investigation, she's even gone so far as to hold one-person meetings to defend herself after trustees walked out of board meetings to protest her spending and governance. Can you imagine a mayor holding a solo meeting just to justify her actions? That's exactly what's been happening. What's even more baffling is Henyard's apparent disregard for her constituents' concerns. Despite their protests, she acts as though she's untouchable. Sources close to Town Hall have overheard her boasting about outlasting her critics, almost as if she sees the situation as a way to benefit herself. It's as if she believes the rules don't apply to her, which makes sense considering she's been breaking them for years. But with federal investigators now involved, that arrogance might be her undoing. Her spending is just the tip of the iceberg. Henyard's leadership style has reportedly created a toxic atmosphere within local government. There have been numerous reports of key staff members quitting due to the hostile work environment she allegedly fosters. Some say she retaliates against anyone who dares question her, making it unbearable for those who speak out. It's no wonder the town is in chaos. Not only are the finances a disaster, but the entire structure of local government is crumbling from within. As the situation continues to unfold, speculation is growing about what's next. Will the ongoing investigations result in more serious charges, or could Henyard ultimately be removed from office? Legal experts warn that if she's found guilty of bribery, it could lead to additional accusations of corruption, fraud, and misappropriation of public funds, potentially putting her behind bars for decades. This is a stunning fall from grace for someone who once portrayed herself as the people's mayor and the savior of Dalton, promising to improve the town. Instead, her time in office has been tainted by scandal after scandal. and it now seems the walls are closing in on her. Despite the mounting pressure, Henyard still has supporters who believe this is part of a political witch hunt, with some claiming she's being unfairly targeted due to her position as a strong woman of color in leadership. However, even among her supporters, rumors are circulating that she may have attempted to bribe a federal agent. These are tough questions, and as more details come to light, it's becoming increasingly difficult for anyone to defend her actions.
Appointment. That's what the trustees I talked to are calling this. They say the news took them by surprise, and now they're talking to legal counsel to figure out.
The most shocking part of this entire situation is how Henyard continues to act as if nothing is wrong. Despite the FBI combing through her files and the media covering every new twist, she posts videos of herself dancing, smiling, and calling herself the super mayor. She seems to be living in a bubble, unaware that it's about to burst, and when it does, it will be a huge explosion. This isn't just about the money, the parties, or the bribes. It's about the betrayal of the trust the people of Dalton placed in Henyard. They elected her to address the town's problems and make things better, but instead, they have a mayor who seems more interested in living the high life and protecting her own interests than actually fulfilling her duties. Now that federal investigators are closing in, it looks like she'll have to face the consequences. So, what do you think? Will Tiffany Henyard manage to wriggle her way out of this mess, or is this the end of the road for Dalton's so-called super mayor? Could she really end up in prison for allegedly attempting to bribe a federal agent? And what does this mean for the residents of Dalton, who are still waiting for someone to step up and fix the mess she's left behind? Share your thoughts in the comments, and as always, keep checking back. This story is far from over.